So, Mr. Herzog, it was interesting at this panel you were talking about how you always do like to surprise people and do different things each time. To me, this is one of the great high-wire acts. You're taking away all the bells and whistles of your profession, the things that you know how to do, the commentary, poetic visuals, everything, and you're down to interviews. Tell me how you came up with this.
It's not interviews. I have no catalogue of questions. I walk in completely unprepared, and I do have a discourse. But I have to sense immediately what sort of person am I going to encounter. Nobody can prepare you for that, and I'm very, very straightforward.
You haven't done any research? You must know what you want to get out of it.
I know research in just to know the case file. I know what has happened. When I talk to the perpetrators, yes, I know every detail of the crime, and there's much more evidence in the case file or court transcripts that I need to show in the film. I'm not in the business of establishing guilt or innocence, and I tell everyone this film is not a platform for you to maintain and prove your innocence. So it's not an issue film, it's not a platform for you, are you prepared to talk anyway?
It's not like the Errol Morris film where he was trying to prove
in his
the
case,
guy's innocence.
And he did.
And he did. He got the guy out of prison.
That was Errol Morris's very wonderful attitude, because he knew the man was innocent, and he digs into it, and at the end he has a phone call which actually is some sort of a proof, and the man on death row was set free. But set free just to sue him immediately afterwards for profits, which was kind of absurd. Now, this is not an issue film. It has to do with death and life and families of victims, and it has to do with the executioners. It has to do with all sorts of environment and related things. And of course, for me, unexpected discoveries, unexpected things. Not that I want to surprise an audience, as you hinted. I'm curious. I'm open for new horizons, and I'm looking, and I want to look very deep into our human condition. And when you are doing a film like Into the Abyss, yes, you are looking deep into us.
It does
Could have
feel...
been the title for many of my films, by the way. Sorry.
No, I do feel though that was there one interview? I mean,
not interviews. I do not do interviews. I'm not a journalist.
What is the word then?
I have discourse.
Conversation.
I have a discourse, and I don't know where it will lead me. I have no plan. I have no catalogue of questions.
Goal.
Well, a goal is look deep inside the heart of ourselves.
And how did you come up with this particular case? Why was this the case you wanted to pursue?
Well, you can look up all the men and women on death row in the entire United States. There are registers. You can look them up on the internet. And of course, the procedures are complicated. You have to write to one of them. And I was fascinated by this particular case because of the senselessness of the crime. It's so utterly senseless. 3 people died for possession of a car that was in the possession of the 2 perpetrators for less than 72 hours. So it's just mind-boggling. And what sort of repercussions does it have beyond the perpetrators? One of them was executed only 8 days after I talked to him. The other one got away with life in prison.
Because of his father's
His father testified. His father testified in court.
So moving.
Very, very tragic man who has served a 2-year sentence, a 5-year sentence. Now he's on a 30-year sentence now, and in addition for 8 more felony counts, a 40-year sentence. He knows he's never gonna get out into freedom, and he even confuses the centuries. He thinks that...
He said 1941.
In 1941, his son, he says in 1941, in 1942 or so, and he tries to correct, and I quietly point out that he's talking about a different century, and the car for which 3 people had to die sitting in an impounding lot, and they had to move it because a tree grew inside, broke through the floorboards, grew inside the car. They had to chop it down and move the car somewhere else. I mean, it's just very, very, very scary.
This is one of those truth is stranger than fiction things, because you could never write a speech like that father gave about how he was able to save his son.
But he's facing responsibilities.
It was his fault. He said it was his fault, but he was able to save his son. And then this woman falls in love with the son out of nowhere.
Yeah, because there was a rainbow.
An articulate woman.
Yeah, very, very well educated. She even has a child. She was pregnant at the time we were filming, but the boy was born in July and doing fine. So there's an urgency. Let me put it this way: the film is not just about capital punishment or about death and victims and perpetrators, and it has an end chapter, the urgency of life. There's something about life in it.
Absolutely true. Although one of the other more moving revelations comes from the man who had worked on death row.
Yes, tie-down captain. I mean, a wonderful person. And he was an advocate of capital punishment, and he does his job. And he does 125 executions.
And a woman turned him.
Yes, but it didn't affect him when the execution took place. Only 2 days later, all of a sudden he starts shaking, and I ask how bad was the shake, and he says, well, it was a shake. And he starts to cry uncontrollably, and he knows he cannot do it again. Loses his pension over quitting his job. I mean, a man of great integrity. That's a kind of Americans I love. You see, I really like your country for this kind of very solid, good men that you will find, or women.
Now you